Okay, so you can see here's our image. So I duplicate the black and white image for the UV snapshot. I'll raise it to the top level of my Photoshop file, and I'll basically either multiply it or screen it. So that way when I slide in my image photography that I'm going to use as my UV texture, I'll still see the outline above it. So right now I have this image that I downloaded. It's a pretty straight on image of the building. I kind of liked it. So I made sure to render my image at 4096 by 4096 for the image plane. And basically I'm going to copy this and then sandwich it underneath. Right now you can see my image is way bigger than what I want, so I'll scale it down. What I can also do is sometimes, well, I'll scale this down first, just so it starts to work within the scale of the building that I have for my UVs. And you know, that looks roughly good. Might scale it down a little bit. Now sometimes what I do is I like to have it as a multiply for the layer. So what I did is Control I inverted my image and then made it multiply, so I have a black line over my image. Sometimes I feel the black line is easier to see than the white line, but that's all preference. So here you can see what I've done is I've roughly built up just using that simple photo, positioning and cloning and cutting up my image. And this can be very, very fast. You know, it doesn't have to be in depth. But what it gives you in Maya and then in your render for your final image saves you a lot more time than you would need if you had to photo manipulate all of this in Photoshop, and flat. So now I've flattened my file. I have my side view and front view. Save as TIFF. I don't want the alpha right now. And then I'll go back to my project center from Maya in the source images, because this will be my image that I'm going to use. I'm going to call it building group 1 underscore C for color, TIFF, and then basically save. No compression. And then basically I'll go back to Maya and I'm going to ingest this texture onto my building that I have in Maya already placed. So I have an MIA material. Go into the color field, make sure I have a gamma correct 4.54, and then here under file we're going to add this texture node, and then here you can see I did a rough render. I'm going to bring this back into Photoshop into our original plate, and you can see how it positions and how it feels in the lighting scenario. So I did a rough curve over it just to give it a little bit more contrast. I think my exposure node was not at the right value.